Good afternoon, sir.
Namaskar.
Good afternoon, sir. Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar.
We'll start in 5 minutes.
Very good afternoon to everyone. आप सब लोग मुझे देख नहीं पा रहे हैं. So sorry, I think the mic got muted.
Yes, Swanji.
So we have 3 guest speakers who I have briefly introduced at after the session will be of 1.5 hours. We will be taking questions at the end of the session. There are certain sanitation practices that we are going to follow. आप हम लोग अपने माइक अपने म्यूट पे रखिएगा. कोशिश करिए कि सब लोग अपने वीडियोस ऑन करें जो भी कर सकते हैं, so that we can see your faces और आप भी हम लोग को देख पाए. So with this I would like to hand over the mic to Ashok sir. Ashok Pandey sir.
Yeah. Namaskar, Arpit. And
Namaskar sir.
On behalf of SIDBI and on my own behalf, I welcome all the participants to this webinar. Let me first thank APMG team and Mr. Sumit Saxena from BSE for hosting this webinar. It's a good opportunity for the MSMEs to tap the capital market, which they do happen to be on the growth path. And definitely see that their cost of capital that also goes down once they tap the capital market. And Sumit would be aware that SIDBI along with NSE, they have already set up that SME platform that is functional now. So whether one taps the capital market on the BSE or the NSE, National Stock Exchange, definitely it would be a good boost for the MSMEs also. Only thing they need to have a good balance sheet to show their profitability so that they are able to get the good rating from all the rating agencies. And see, particularly see Vengsapate NAC, as you will recall that SIDBI had already extended risk capital to the growing MSMEs also in the past. The whole idea was to provide that capital to the growing MSMEs, which have the scarcity of capital of raising the promoter's contribution, and it provided a quasi equity to the so that they are able to leverage more funds. And we also recall that in the past also we had extended that merchant banking facility to a couple of the MSMEs also to tap the capital market. In the current financial year also we have set up an equity division in SIDBI where the SIDBI is also going to assist the MSMEs in tapping their capital market also. See, my sincere advice is that, see, we need to have the particular MSMEs, they need to maintain a good balance sheet. And they should be able to at least show good turnover with their EBITDA and other things. They are also on the rise over the period. So that, see, ultimately it gets captured by the rating agency, and once they get a good rating, so they are able to on their book value, they are able to command a good premium also from the market also. So with these words, I wish all the participants to make good use of this webinar, where Sumit is also there from BSE, who is going to dwell on the nuances of the tapping the capital market also, and KPMG team would be also guiding or hand-holding to the participants also. With these words, thanks a lot. Thank you. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words and very valuable wisdom that you have shared with us.
अभी आंसर के सर डेफिनेटली यस, आपका रेगुलेटरी और कंप्लायंस बर्डन बढ़ेगा, बट in case of SME the things have already been drilled down by the SEBI and the exchange considering the size of the company. तो अगर आप मेन बोर्ड की बात करें तो उसमें हर 3 महीने में आपको कंप्लायंसेस करने होते हैं, और इसमें SME में you have to do it on every 6 months. And let me tell you, once you come into the market, ठीक है ना, अभी तक क्या होता है कि जब आप IPO नहीं लाए होते हैं, आप खुद के मालिक होते हैं कंपनी, राइट, आपका खुद का डिसीजन होता है, आप खुद अपनी कंपनी के रिस्पॉन्सिबल होते हैं. बट व्हेन यू रेज मनी फ्रॉम द मार्केट, you yourself become responsible for the others also, those who have put in faith in you, जिन्होंने आपके ऊपर फेथ लगाया है और पैसा आपको दिया है to run the company. So it becomes your prime responsibility to be regulatory compliant, compliance regulation आपकी प्रॉपर होनी चाहिए. And to cater that, BSE train them. हम कंप्लायंस कैलेंडर प्रोवाइड करते हैं, हम उनको ट्रेनिंग्स देते हैं रेगुलेटरी की, क्या क्या फाइलिंग्स हैं, क्या क्या है. कहीं पे भी कोई अगर उन्हें लगता है कि दिक्कत है तो वी आर देयर, वी हैंड होल्ड देम. तो दिस इज व्हाट वी डू. Secondly, when you are raising money from the market, say for example, आपने 5-10 crore रुपए raise कर लिए हैं, तो at any point of time you can hire a good CA or CS to handle these compliances, right? Because होता क्या है कि जब आप IPO के लिए आते हैं तो आपका एक तो आपका लिमिटेड फॉर्मेशन हो जाता है, आपका एक स्ट्रक्चर बन जाता है, आपका बोर्ड बन जाता है, यू हैव अ पीयर ऑडिटेड आपके में इन्वॉल्व हो जाता है एक ऑडिटर, तो दिस स्ट्रक्चर एक बन जाता है, तो यू कैन हायर एनी टाइम गुड सीएस आप हायर कर सकते हैं. एंड सेकंडली एज आई टोल्ड यू कि हम प्रॉपर ट्रेनिंग्स वगैरह एंड वी गिव एवरीथिंग, तो देयर इज नथिंग टू वेरी. बट यस, as an exchange, as in SME, it becomes our prime responsibility if you are taking or raising money from the capital markets. It becomes our prime responsibility to take care of our investors who have raised, who has given money to your company. So taking care of that, we have the compliances that needs to be taken care. Especially those information you have to give it to the exchange within 24 hours who are price sensitive. Like for example, अगर आपका कोई director change हो गया या आपको कोई बड़ा order मिला, like someone is saying that I'm not getting any audio. Is it so? Is it so, team? Can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes, sir, you're clearly audible.
Someone has messaged that there is no audio. Sorry. So what I was trying to say, there is always a regulatory and compliance that you can take care. So as an exchange and as a regulator SEBI, it becomes our prime responsibility to take care of the investors who have taken money. तो मैंने आपको बताया कोई भी important price sensitive information है आपको 24 hours में exchange को देनी होती है. So these are the compliance that you have to take care. And once you become listed, slowly and steadily and gradually you started doing it. So there is nothing like that कि हम regulatory और compliance नहीं कर पाएंगे. और let me tell you, once you become listed, आपके compliances एक certain level पे आ जाते हैं, तो banks का नजरिया भी आपके लिए बहुत change होता है. अभी आप listed नहीं है, the once you get listed, the transparency increases in your organization. उन्हें पता है कि आपके results are audited and everything is streamlined now. तो banks का in terms of loaning जब आप एक बार list जाते हैं बहुत नजरिया change होता है. Now third is cost. कोई भी कंपनी आती है IPO के लिए कहती है सर बहुत कॉस्ट लग रही है, बहुत कॉस्ट लग रही है. As an exchange, we never get into these commercials factor. हम commercials में नहीं जाते हैं. But definitely there is some cost can be involved. The reason being क्योंकि if you are coming for an IPO, आपको एक merchant banker के थ्रू जाना होता है. And merchant banker takes the entire responsibility of due diligence as well. The legal compliances, the road shows of yours, your branding, your underwriting. He makes sure that your issue gets subscribed. If it is not getting subscribed, he will take care of it. Maybe he will put in money, whatever. It is his responsibility to bring investor to your company. The entire job is there. There is a hard toil. He has to be on foot every time if you are coming for an IPO. So definitely yes, he charges something. But at any point of time, you as a company can negotiate on that. There is a list of merchant bankers available on SEBI site. You can anytime go download it. You can negotiate with multiple merchant bankers. So there is a possibility available. But yes, there is a fees involved. So if someone is doing a complete due diligence, he is structuring your entire organization. आप समझिए पूरी SWOT analysis करता है. It's around अगर आप IPO लाने की आज सोचते हैं तो at least it will take 4 to 5 months to from decision making to bringing an IPO may take around 6 months as well, because काफी SWOT एनालिसिस होती है. आपकी कंपनीज की वीकनेस स्ट्रेंथ देखी जाती है, क्या प्रोडक्ट आप बना रहे हैं, क्या विजिबिलिटी है उसकी, क्या स्केलेबिलिटी है, कितनी बड़ी मार्केट है, क्या है, मार्केट स्टडी होती है, उस पर एक प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट बनती है कि आप पैसा जो लेंगे उसका क्या करेंगे. तो लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स इन्वॉल्व. लीगल ड्यू डिलिजेंस होता है कि आपके ऊपर कोई केसेस तो नहीं चल रहा है, कोई पुराना केस पेंडिंग तो नहीं है. दीज आर देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ लीगल थिंग्स दैट is taken care. Then branding, road shows, investors meeting. So there's a lot of things involved from a merchant banker side. So definitely cost is there. Now, fourth, which is consensus among the family is very important. The reason I am saying so, because जो भी SMEs होते हैं generally family owned business houses होते हैं. क्या कहते हैं, भाई 2 भाई हैं, उन्होंने मिला बिजनेस स्टार्ट किया है, फादर का बिजनेस है, बच्चे देख रहे हैं. This is what it is. Now, if you are coming for an IPO, so consent from all is important, and we take it. वी कॉल इट अ ब्लड ग्रुप रिलेशंस। तो ब्लड ग्रुप रिलेशन में जो भी आते हैं उनसे हमें कंसेंसस चाहिए। तो ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आज 2 भाई हैं, फादर है, मदर है, या केवल मदर है और 2 भाई हैं, से फॉर एग्जांपल किसी कंपनी में, और दोनों भाई चला रहे हैं, फादर नहीं है। दोनों भाइयों ने कहा ठीक है हम आईपीओ ले आते हैं, और आईपीओ लाने के बाद 4 महीने बाद आप कहते हैं नहीं हमें नहीं लाना, इट्स अ प्रॉब्लम। द रीजन आई एम सेइंग सो, मे बी आपकी एक प्रोप्राइटरशिप फर्म होगी या पार्टनरशिप फर्म होगी। अगर आपको आईपीओ लाना है तो आपको उसको लिमिटेड में कन्वर्ट करना। जब आपने उसको एक बार लिमिटेड में कन्वर्ट करा लिया और 4 महीने बाद आप कहें साहब नहीं लाना है हमें, तो यू नो going back, changing again your accounting standards becomes a problem, right? So it is very important कि अगर आप IPO ला रहे हैं तो consensus among the family is very important, very important, because we'll take the consent letters from every member, every blood group member. तो blood group member की अगर मैं बहुत छोटी सी डेफिनेशन दूं, तो जैसे मान लीजिए आपकी कंपनी है, तो आप हो गए, आपकी वाइफ हो गए, ठीक है ना, आपकी वाइफ के मदर फादर हो गए, ठीक है, आप हो गए, आपके फादर हो गए, आपकी मदर हो गई, फादर की साइड से हो गए। तो दिस ऑल जो भी ब्लड रिलेशंस में आएंगे आपके, उन सबसे कंसेंसस चाहिए होती है, कंसेंट लेटर चाहिए। तो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग व्हिच इज टू बी टेकन केयर। नाउ फिफ्थ पॉइंट व्हिच आई से स्किल्ड स्टाफ। वी जनरली ऑब्जर्व कि जब भी कोई कंपनी आईपीओ लाती है तो डॉक्यूमेंटेशन बहुत होता है, देयर इज लॉट ऑफ डॉक्यूमेंटेशन व्हिच इज रिक्वायर्ड। In fact, we may ask promoters की हाई स्कूल की सर्टिफिकेट एंड हाई स्कूल का we can ask mark sheet also. So this is the level we drill down, or the LODR regulation ask the details for. ठीक है ना। तो स्टाफ इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। तो होता क्या है, छोटी एसएमईज होती हैं, बहुत स्किल्ड स्टाफ नहीं होता है, तो डॉक्यूमेंट्स प्रोवाइड नहीं हो रहे हैं। तो अगर ऑन द टाइम डॉक्यूमेंट्स प्रोवाइड नहीं होते तो आपका आईपीओ डिले हो। तो make sure कि when you are going for an IPO, you make sure either you get yourself involved fully for the next 3 months कि आपको जो भी डॉक्यूमेंट्स है वो आपको देने हैं, करने, और you assign someone who is good in your organization that you have to take care of. तो आपको एक टीम बना के करनी पड़ती है 2-3 लोगों की, भाई ठीक है तुम लोगों को देखना, जो भी डॉक्यूमेंट्स आएंगे, जो भी, you have to take care. So this is very important upon the part of skilled staff. Next slide, ma'am. Now, I will talk about कि what is the value proposition. अगर आप IPO लाते हैं तो आपको बेनिफिट्स क्या होते हैं। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में। सबसे बड़ी चीज जो है वो है इस IPO में जो होता है, इट्स अ रिस्क फ्री मनी। रिस्क फ्री मनी मैं क्यों बोल रहा हूं, अगर आप कोई भी बिजनेस या कहीं पे भी कुछ भी स्टार्ट करने की कोशिश करते हैं तो यू नीड मनी फॉर दैट। तो मनी के जो मेजर सोर्सेज होते हैं, आइदर यू कैन lend, borrow or take a loan, or you can raise it from the capital market. तो कैपिटल मार्केट की भी हम बात नहीं करते हैं, हम लेंडिंग की बात करते हैं। Whenever there is a lending always comes with a cost, right? आप मे बी कोलेटरल बेस्ड हो सकती है, मे बी कुछ क्या कहते हैं आपका इंटरेस्ट अमाउंट हो सकता है, एक EMI इन्वॉल्व हो सकती है, राइट? कुछ ना कुछ रहेगा। मे बी अगर कोलेटरल फ्री है तो कुछ टाइम के लिए फ्री होगी, आफ्टर दैट यू हैव टू पे। सो एट एनी पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम यू हैव टू पे दैट मनी जो आपने मार्केट से लिया है, जो आपने लोन के तौर पे लिया है, यू हैव टू पे दैट एट एनी पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम। तो इट्स लाइक कि अगर आपने बैंक से 2 लाख रुपए या 2 करोड़ रुपए लिए तो आपको पे करने ही करने, यू कैन नॉट अवॉइड दैट। द रीजन, तो इसमें क्या होता है, व्हेन यू टेक मनी फ्रॉम अ बैंक और लोन फ्रॉम अ बैंक, व्हाट हैपेंस इज, सबसे पहले 3 प्रेशर आते हैं। नंबर 1, एक तो आपके ऊपर आता है EMI का प्रेशर, दैट यू हैव टू गिव द EMI फ्रॉम द नेक्स्ट मंथ। एक वो मीटर आपका स्टार्ट हो जाता है। देन द इंटरेस्ट पार्ट आल्सो, ठीक है ना। नाउ इफ समथिंग bad happens for some time, maybe for 1 month, 2 months or 3 months, ऑर्डर बुक अगर आपकी नहीं आ पाई, पेमेंट डिले हो गया या समथिंग हो गया और आप EMIs वगैरह नहीं दे पाए, तो देयर penalty structures also involved. So there are a lot of things, pressure is always building up there. बट अगर आप IPO से पैसा लेते हैं, IPO पैसा इज स्ट्रेस फ्री। बेस्ट पार्ट ऑफ IPO मनी इज यू कैन यूज इट इन योर बिजनेस टिल द टाइम यू आर इन बिजनेस। जब तक आप इस बिजनेस में हैं तब तक उस पैसे को यूज कर सकते हैं। यू डोंट हैव टू रिटर्न इट, आपको इस पैसे को वापस नहीं करना है, आपको वापस नहीं करना है। नंबर 2, कोई EMI, कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, ठीक है ना। तो ये 3 फैक्टर होते हैं, एंड यू कैन फोकस ऑन योर बिजनेस इफेक्टिवली। द ओनली थिंग इज कि जिस चीज के लिए पैसा आपने लिया है आपको उसी में ही यूज करना है, एंड फॉर दैट एक्सचेंज मॉनिटर्स इट। तो फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आपने कहा कि साहब मुझे 2 करोड़ रुपए चाहिए आईपीओ से, एंड आई विल यूज इट फॉर अ प्लांट एंड मशीनरी, न्यू प्लांट एंड मशीनरी विच आई एम गोइंग टू इंट्रोड्यूस इन माय फैक्ट्री, so you have to use that money for that only. You cannot go and buy land or buy a car for your directors. ये नहीं कर सकते आप उस पैसे, right? So this is what it is important, that money that you have taken for, you have to use it in that. The reason being, क्योंकि जब आपने DRHP फाइल किया है तो आपने बताया कि मैं इस पैसे को ये यूज करूंगा, तो जो इन्वेस्टर है उसने उसी को पढ़ के आपको पैसा दिया है कि हाँ ठीक है ये प्लान एंड मशीनरी लगाएंगे जिससे इनका बिजनेस ग्रो करेगा, तो वील गिव दिस मनी टू हिम, राइट? नाउ एक्विजिशन फंडिंग बनती है। अगर आप आईपीओ से पैसा लेते हैं तो आप, इट बिकम्स अ करेंसी ना, आपकी इक्विटी करेंसी की तरह काम करती है। आप किसी भी कंपनी को टेक ओवर कर सकते हैं, उससे मर्ज कर सकते हैं, इक्विटी स्वैप कर सकते हैं, इजीली कर सकते हैं। भाई ठीक है तुम मेरी भी 10% इक्विटी ले लो, तुम अपनी 10% इक्विटी दे दो, वी बिकम्स अ पार्टनर। तो दिस इज हाउ इट बिकम्स। सो इट बिकम्स इजीली एंड मैनेजेबल, यू कैन एक्सपैंड योर बिजनेस इजीली, ठीक है। वर्किंग कैपिटल के लिए पैसा मिल जाता है। तो अभी क्या होता है, जैसे एसएमईज में हमने देखा है कि डिलेस पेमेंट्स की प्रॉब्लम होती है, राइट? तो डिले पेमेंट अगर आ रहा है, आपका वेंडर से पेमेंट नहीं आ रहा है, और आपको क्या, आपको सैलरीज भी देनी है, आपको खर्चे भी देने हैं, आपको सब कुछ करना है, राइट? तो यू नीड मनी। नाउ द मनी कहाँ से आएगी? सो यू व्हाट जनरली एसएमईज डू इज कि वो ओडी वगैरह लेते हैं, उसको यूटिलाइज करना शुरू कर देते हैं। एट टाइम्स व्हाट हैपेंस कि ओडी फुल्ली यूटिलाइज हो जाती है, उसको कुछ टाइम के बाद वो लोन में भी कन्वर्ट हो जाती है। तो दीज आर द प्रॉब्लम्स व्हिच हैपेंस। आईपीओ की मनी, जो आप आईपीओ से पैसा लेते हैं, यू कैन यूज इट इन वर्किंग कैपिटल ऑल्सो। आप सैलरी पे कर सकते हैं, आप जनरल एक्सपेंसेस में भी यूज कर सकते हैं। देयर इज अ लिमिट टू इट, 15% ऑफ इट, बट आप कर सकते हैं। यू कैन डू इट एनी पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम। तो आप उस पैसे को वर्किंग कैपिटल में भी यूज कर सकते हैं। तो एक लिक्विडिटी आपके इन्वायरमेंट में बनी रहती है, दैट टू इंटरेस्ट फ्री लिक्विडिटी। आपके पास पैसा है, आपको यूज करना है, वेंडर पेमेंट आया फिर वो पैसा आ गया, अदरवाइज नहीं है तो आपने सैलरी दे दी या जो भी वर्किंग कैपिटल में यूज करना नहीं यूज कर लिया। तो दिस इज यू नो हाउ इट इज गुड। यू कैन रिपे द लोन, आप लोन पेमेंट कर सकते हैं। सपोज आपकी एसएमईज कंपनीज है, वी जनरली ऑब्जर्व कि देयर आर लॉट ऑफ लोन्स इन इट रनिंग, की प्रॉफिट तो बना रहे हैं, पर वो प्रॉफिट जा किसको रहा है? जनरली जिनसे लैंडिंग कर रखी में भी बैंक है, तो उन्हीं को प्रॉफिट चला जाता है। तो 2 कंपनी बना तो 2 करोड़ प्रॉफिट रही है, पता लगा इंटरेस्ट में ही सारा चला जा रहा है, राइट? सो यू कैन रेज मनी फ्रॉम द आईपीओ एंड यू कैन repay the loan also. 100% loan repayment you can do, उसमें भी कोई इशू नहीं है। The only thing is कि आपस में डायरेक्टर्स ने अगर लोन बांट रखे हैं तो उस पे नहीं, वो उसको आप नहीं रिपे कर सकते। आपने बैंक से ले रखा है, किसी थर्ड पार्टी से ले रखा है, यू कैन रिपे एट एनी पॉइंट। तो आप डेट बर्डन भी लोअर कर सकते हैं। तो आपका जब डेट कम हो जाएगा, इंटरेस्ट कम हो जाएगा, तो आपका पैट ऑलरेडी ग्रो हो जाएगा, राइट? इंसेंटिव फॉर एम्प्लॉइज होता है, बहुत अच्छा फैक्टर है ये। आज की डेट में एसएमईज में कई ऐसे एम्प्लॉइज होते हैं तो कई सालों से लगे होते हैं, 20-25 साल से होते हैं, बट दे डोंट फाइंड एनी बेनिफिट ऑफ ग्रोथ इन टर्म्स ऑफ सैलरी और समथिंग। नाउ वंस यू बिकम, आप एक बार आईपीओ ले आते हैं तो आप उनको ईसॉप्स दे सकते हैं, राइट? कि आप भाई ईसॉप्स रख लो, यू कैन गिव देम अ बिट ऑफ ईसॉप्स एज वेल। एंड लेट मी टेल यू वेरी वी ऑफन सी जनरली कि जो आजकल की यंग जनरेशन, इफ आई टॉक अबाउट जेन जी, दे लव टू जॉइन सच कंपनीज व्हिच ऑफर देम ईसॉप्स। इनिशियल ग्रोइंग कंपनी है और अगर ईसॉप दे रही है तो अच्छे, मतलब दे लव टू जॉइन रादर देन बिग कंपनीज, दे लव टू जॉइन स्मॉल कंपनीज हु गिव देम ईसॉप्स। क्योंकि होता क्या है कि जब उनको ईसॉप्स मिल जाते हैं, जब आपके एम्प्लॉय को ईसॉप्स मिल जाते हैं, ट्रस्ट बनता है, दूसरा एक मोटिवेशन बनता है काम करने का। उन्हें भी पता होता है कि अब हम अगर काम करेंगे और मेरी कंपनी ग्रो करेगी तो मेरा स्टॉक प्राइस ग्रो करेगा और मेरे ईसॉप की वैल्यू ग्रो करेगी। तो दिस इज यू नो हाउ अ सिनर्जी गेट बिल्ड्स। देन कंपनी की विजिबिलिटी बढ़ती है। आज की डेट में मे बी आपकी कंपनी जहां पे भी हो, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर मैं एक छोटा सा ले लूं से, फॉर एग्जांपल आपकी कंपनी से रुद्रपुर में है फॉर एग्जांपल, तो रुद्रपुर में तो आप 22 करोड़ ऑफ इन्वेस्टर्स, 22 करोड़ तो इन्वेस्टर्स अवेलेबल है इस मार्केट में जो आपके शेयर प्राइस को, you will become visible for them. Number 2, mutual funds start tracking you, HNIs start tracking you. अगर उन्हें लगता है कि आपकी कंपनी में वर्थ है और आपकी प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी बढ़ रही है, at any point of day you will find कि someone good has invested in your company, right? So this is how it becomes. अभी क्या है, आप you think of a scenario, आज की डेट में भी there are approximate 5,500 companies which are listed, total listed company if I talk about, तो 5,500 के आसपास है, right? और अगर मैं एसएमई की बात करूं तो जैसे मैंने बताया 1300-1400 कंपनी है. थिंक ऑफ इट कि आपकी कंपनी बिकम्स 1401 कंपनी अमंग 7 crores ऑफ एमएसएमई प्रेजेंट इन द मार्केट, और the 5501 कंपनी लिस्टेड कंपनीज इन द मार्केट. सो थिंक ऑफ ए सिनेरियो कि कितना बड़ा आपको प्लेटफॉर्म मिलता है. एंटायर पैन इंडिया बिकम्स ए मार्केट. आई जस्ट लाइक टू कोट अ स्मॉल एग्जांपल इन इट. देयर वाज अ कंपनी, आई डोंट वांट टू नेम इट, बहुत छोटा सा एक प्रोडक्ट बनाते थे वो. क्या बोलते हैं, आपके पैराशूट्स हैं जो ऊपर, आपने कभी देखा होगा लोग पैराशूट से कूदते हैं, उसमें हुक्स लगते हैं स्टील्स के. दे यूज्ड टू मैन्युफैक्चर इट. दे कम अप फॉर एन एसएमई आईपीओ एंड they were having a limited vendors जिनको सप्लाई करते थे. You won't believe कि there were, after listing there were lot of calls भी received कि हमें उनके promoters का नंबर दीजिए because the product they are making is needed by us. So this is how the visibility एकदम से बढ़ती है आपकी. Lot of पता हैदराबाद में भी जो वेंडर बैठा उसकी नजर में भी आते हैं कि अच्छा ये this is the company who has started who is into this manufacturing of this and now listed, right? बाहर के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स मिलने में आपको इजी हो जाता है, राइट? अगर आपको बाहर का कुछ एक्सपोर्ट करना है, कुछ होना है, तो अगर आप लिस्टेड एंटिटी है तो उनकी नजर में क्राइटेरिया चेंज हो जाता है बिकॉज यू आर उनके हिसाब से यू हैव योर कंप्लायंसेस एंड रिजल्ट्स एट अ पर्टिकुलर लेवल, राइट? इन्वेस्टर बेस आपका बढ़ता है, ठीक है? इनोवेशन, एंटरप्रेन्योर स्पिरिट आती है. आप कुछ नया स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं, नई मशीनरी डाल सकते हैं, नया जो है कुछ भी इनोवेशन कर सकते हैं. यू कैन यूज दैट मनी. आप अपने स्ट्रेटजी में डाल दीजिए. जब डीआरएफपी फाइल करते हैं तो आप स्ट्रेटजी में डाल सकते हैं दिस इज व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डू इन 3 इयर्स, राइट? नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में. नाउ व्हाट एक्सचेंज जनरली सी, हम कैसे देखते हैं, हम कैसे करते हैं कि एसएमई इज गुड फॉर एन आईपीओ. एक तो आपकी कंपनी प्रॉफिटेबल होनी चाहिए और स्केलेबल बिजनेस होना चाहिए. बिजनेस बहुत स्केलेबल होना चाहिए. बहुत मतलब रिस्ट्रिक्टेड और बहुत छोटा बिजनेस है तो आईपीओ दिक्कत होती है. अगर मैं आपको एग्जांपल दूं कि भाई मैं हिमाचल में सिर्फ सेब उगाता हूं और वो सेब की क्वालिटी से मेरे ही बगीचे में उगती है और कहीं नहीं उग सकती, तो इट्स अ वेरी लिमिटेड स्कोप बिजनेस ना. आपका स्केलेबल नहीं है. एक लिमिट के बाद आप नहीं प्रोडक्शन कर सकते, है ना? बट अगर मैं यही कहूँ कि मेरा बिजनेस है, मैं रेलवेज के जो क्या कहते हैं पहिए होते हैं वो बनाता हूँ और मैं रेलवेज को सप्लाई करता हूँ. बिजनेस इज हाईली स्केलेबल. बहुत है. देयर इज अ ह्यूज स्कोप ऑफ रेलवे व्हिच इज गोइंग टू कम अप. तो आपका बिजनेस स्केलेबल दिख रहा है. तो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. क्लियर बिजनेस मॉडल होना चाहिए कि साहब हम ये करते हैं, ठीक है? मार्केट डिमांड होनी चाहिए उसकी कि हाँ भाई मार्केट में उस चीज की डिमांड है, लोग मांगते हैं, आपको ऑर्डर बुक्स हैं आपके पास, आप कैटर नहीं कर पा रहे हो. द रीजन बीइंग कि आपके पास वो रिसोर्सेज नहीं है मशीन लगाने के, जो भी व्हाटएवर. पैसा किसी भी चीज के लिए ले सकते हो. अगर आपको रिवर्स इंटीग्रेशन करना है अपने बिजनेस में तो भी ले सकते हो. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल अगेन कोट करता हूँ कि पंजाब में एक कंपनी थी जिन्होंने हमसे पैसा रेज किया था. तो वो कॉटन का थ्रेड बनाते थे. बट प्रॉब्लम क्या होती थी, बनाने के बाद दे हैव टू गेट इट कलर्ड. उसको कलर भी करना होता था. तो फॉर कलरिंग दे यूज्ड टू सेंड इट टू सम अदर प्लेस which was around 200 to 300 kilometers away from there. तो वो अपना सारा थ्रेड वहां भेजते थे, फिर कलर होता था. एंड ड्यूरिंग द पीक टाइम वहां पे बहुत डिमांड होती थी तो वो डिले होता था. तो उनका प्रोडक्ट, फाइनल प्रोडक्ट बनने में उनको दिक्कत होती. व्हाट दे डिड इज दे कम फॉर एन आईपीओ, दे रेज द मनी. उनके पास एक लैंड बैंक था, उन्होंने वो कलरिंग मशीन खुद ही लगा दी अपने प्लांट पे. जाओ, अब क्या हुआ, एक तो उनका जो कॉस्ट ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन था, वो अपना सारा माल बेचते थे, कलर करवा के मंगाते थे, वो उनका बचा. नंबर 2 टाइम बचा. टाइम पे उनका थ्रेड कलर होकर तैयार होता था. नाउ दे कैन सप्लाई टू देयर कंपनीज ऑन राइट टाइम. तो उनका एक तो कॉस्टिंग भी बची इन टर्म्स ऑफ लॉजिस्टिक एंड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन. नंबर 2 टाइम रेडी, उनको माल उनका जो है हो गया और वो ऑर्डर जितना मैक्सिमम ऑर्डर ले सकते थे उसको सप्लाई कर पा रहे थे ऑन टाइम. दिस इज व्हाट brought a very big change in their account. So this is what I'm telling you कि आप रिवर्स इंटीग्रेशन भी कर सकते हैं, पैसे से कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. फाइनेंशियल्स आपके बहुत क्लीन होने चाहिए, ऑडिटेड ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड्स होने चाहिए. जनरली एसएमई में हमने देखा है कि उनके अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड बड़े लीकेजेस होते हैं, बहुत ज्यादा होते हैं. और आईपीओ में बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर आपकी प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी नहीं है तो आपको आईपीओ लाने में बहुत बहुत टफ होगा. बिकॉज द रीजन भी कि इन्वेस्टर जो होता है वो यही देखता है कि आपका धंधा आपको बना के क्या दे रहा है, राइट? आपका बिजनेस आपको कमा के कितना दे रहा है। अगर आप बोले साहब मेरा तो 200 करोड़ का टर्नओवर है पर मेरा प्रॉफिट 2 करोड़ का ही है, डजंट मेक एनी सेंस टू इन्वेस्टर। द रीजन बीइंग कि उसके हिसाब से तो आपका 1% मार्जिन पे, प्रॉफिट मार्जिन पे काम हो रहा है ना? तो 1% मार्जिन, जिस कंपनी का प्रॉफिट हो 1% मार्जिन हो, जिसपे उस पर क्यों पैसा लगाएगा? डिपॉजिट इन द बैंक, वहां 6% मिलेगा मुझे, राइट? सो दिस इज अ मेजर प्रॉब्लम दैट वी फाइंड कि टर्नओवर बहुत होते हैं बट प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी उस हिसाब से मार्जिन परसेंटेज नहीं होती। यू हैव टू मेक श्योर कि आप उसको कैसे इंप्रूव करें, कैसे उसको वर्कआउट करें। दैट बिकम्स ए स्ट्रक्चरिंग पार्ट कि कहाँ यूटिलाइजेशन ज्यादा हो रहा है, कहाँ खर्चा ज्यादा हो रहा है, कहाँ पे क्या हम बेटर कर सकते हैं। तो दैट बिकम्स ए स्ट्रक्चरिंग पार्ट। विजन बहुत क्लियर होना चाहिए। फंड यूटिलाइजेशन क्या करेंगे, जैसे मैंने बताया, पैसे का करेंगे क्या, कहाँ यूज करेंगे, क्या करेंगे, पूरा आपको डीआरएसपी में पूरा ग्रंथ होता है। यू हैव टू टेल ईच एंड एवरीथिंग। विलिंगनेस होनी चाहिए कि हाँ मुझे अपने ऑपरेशंस को प्रोफेशनलाइज करना है। यू नो, नाउ द इक्विटी विल बी डाइल्यूटेड, नाउ आई हैव टू बी कंप्लायंट, नाउ आई हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट एवरी 3 or 6 months आई हैव टू फाइल द कंप्लायंसेस, क्वार्टर जो भी कंप्लायंस कैलेंडर आई हैव टू फॉलो। तो you have to very much professionalize the operations, CACS अपॉइंट करने हैं, these are the things। और इक्विटी डाइल्यूशन के लिए आपको ओपन होना है कि हाँ भैया 25% डाइल्यूट होनी है, इसका कोई डिफरेंट बात नहीं। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। Now I'll just go through the geographic distribution कि कहाँ कहाँ आज की डेट में SME पेनिट्रेट हो चुकी है BSC में। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। तो अगर मैं बात करूं तो आज की डेट में कोई भी ऐसा एरिया नहीं है जो कि अनकवर्ड है। हमने ऑलमोस्ट सारे स्टेट्स वी हैव कवर्ड, जहां से भले एक या दो कुछ ना कुछ क्या कहते हैं SME लिस्टिंग हो रखी है। देयर इज नथिंग लाइक दैट कि कहीं से भी नहीं हो, राइट? बट स्टिल वी आर इन मोमेंटम स्टेज। जैसा ये विकसित भारत वाला सर ने बोला ही कि वी आर ऑन दैट पाथ एंड गवर्नमेंट इज ऑल्सो very much focusing on MSMEs to improve their capabilities, which was very clearly echoed in the budget, this recent budget by our government, जिन्होंने 10,000 करोड़ का और benefit MSMEs को दिया है। So capacity building programs are running around India to to help the MSME to grow, to raise their standards in terms of loaning or in terms of raising the money. This was जो है कि हमने कहां से रेस किया है। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज मैम। नाउ लिस्टिंग ऑन BSc SME, क्या क्या एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया है। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड मैम। इसमें मैं बहुत डेप्थ में नहीं जाऊंगा, मैं बहुत बेसिक आपको कुछ पॉइंटर्स बताऊंगा। अगर SME इसमें इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे दे आर अटैच्ड और जुड़े हुए हैं, लिख लें। जो बेसिक क्राइटेरिया, अगर मैं वनीला क्राइटेरिया की बात करूं तो कंपनी की एजिंग कम से कम 3 साल पुरानी होनी चाहिए, कम से कम 3 साल पुरानी कंपनी होनी चाहिए, ठीक है ना? आपकी नेटवर्थ एटलीस्ट 1 करोड़ होनी चाहिए लास्ट 2 प्रीसीडिंग ईयर्स ऑफ द 3 years। 3 साल में कम से कम 2 साल 1 करोड़ की नेटवर्थ होनी चाहिए आपकी। टेंजेबल एसेट आपके 3 करोड़ के होनी चाहिए। लीवरेज रेशियो आपका 3:1 होना चाहिए, इससे ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए। लीवरेज रेशियो इन द सेंस कि आपकी कंपनी पे लोन है वो आपकी नेटवर्थ से 3 गुना नहीं ज्यादा होना चाहिए। ऐसे मान के अगर मैं बहुत बेसिक एग्जांपल में दूं तो आपकी नेटवर्थ से 3 गुना ज्यादा लोन आपकी कंपनी पे नहीं होना चाहिए, ठीक है ना? ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड बस साफ सुथरा होना चाहिए, कंपनी प्रॉफिटेबल होनी चाहिए, ठीक है ना? ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट एबिटा आपकी कंपनी का कम से कम 1 करोड़ होना चाहिए। एबिटा इन द सेंस की अर्निंग बिफोर इनकम टैक्स डेप्रिसिएशन जो है आपका कम से कम 1 करोड़ का होना चाहिए। क्या कहते हैं, जैसे 2 साल। वेबसाइट होनी चाहिए कंपनी की, कोई चेंज ऑफ प्रमोटर्स नहीं होना चाहिए। डीमैट के फॉर्म में आपकी शेयर्स होनी चाहिए। अब इसमें क्या चाहिए है कि अगर आपकी पार्टनरशिप है, LLP है या कुछ है, तो आपको 1 साल का कूलिंग रहेगा। द रीजन बीइंग कि आपके कन्वर्जन के बाद आपका एक फुल फाइनेंशियल ईयर की बैलेंस शीट आपकी एज ए प्राइवेट लिमिटेड या लिमिटेड फाइल हो रखी होनी चाहिए, ठीक है? तो आपका 1 साल का कूलिंग रहता है इसमें, अगर आप LLP हैं या पार्टनरशिप है। अगर आप प्राइवेट लिमिटेड है तो कोई कूलिंग नहीं है। डे 1 आज आपका प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी और एवरीथिंग इज फाइन, you can file for IPO tomorrow as well, right? Next slide please. So this was from my side. Again I like to thanks SIDBI and KPMG team for giving us this opportunity. Thank you so much team. Over to you.
Thank you, Sumit ji. It was a very elaborate and very deep kind of an appraisal for this. जैसे हम सुमित जी आपने बताया कि एसएमई प्लेटफॉर्म कब से है, एसएमई 2012-13 से ये चल रहा है, और जस्ट डूइंग सम कैलकुलेशंस कि ओनली 704 कंपनीज आर रजिस्टर्ड, बट क्यूमुलेटिव फंड इज 15,000 crores, which is a very big number for an SME. Total market cap is 1.88 lakh crore. 704 companies and a market capitalization of 1.88 lakh crores is a very big thing, and specifically from MSME sector. Second thing जो आपने जो एक जो myth busting किया सब लोगों का, that if suppose you are getting if you are getting listed, yeah, so then there are chances of losing control, but ऐसा नहीं है. You were मतलब जो भी SME के founders है, proprietors है, if they are getting listed, कंपनी उनकी थी है और आगे भी उनकी ही रहेगी. तो स्टेक डायल्यूशन होता है, बट इसका मतलब नहीं कि ओनरशिप डायल्यूशन होगा. दैट इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. और जैसा आपने है बताया कि हाँ थोड़ा रेगुलेटरी कंप्लायंसेस बढ़ता है, बट दैट इज अंडरस्टूड, समबडी इज पुटिंग मनी इनटू योर बिजनेस, सो उनको एक अश्योरेंस चाहिए होगा कि अच्छा इनका प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी क्या है, दैट इज व्हाई बीएसई इज देयर फॉर डूइंग दिस. अंडर राइटिंग करने के लिए आपको जैसे सुमित जी ने बताया कि देयर आर बैंक्स एंड यू कैन नेगोशिएट विद दोस पर्टिकुलर बैंक की मुझे अंडर राइटिंग करना है, और कैसे कर सकते हैं. जस्ट गिविंग अ वेरी स्मॉल एग्जांपल, जैसे आसाम में डिब्रूगढ़ के अंदर कोई एमएससी है, कोई एसएमई है, जिसका 5 करोड़ का टर्नओवर है, एंड सुमित जी ने बताया इतना प्रॉफिट होना चाहिए, बट उनको आसाम से अगर 10 करोड़ का है फंड रेज करना है तो बहुत मुश्किल है. बट फॉर देम, फॉर एनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एस्टैब्लिश्ड इन एनी रीजन ऑफ इंडिया, तो उनको एक क्रेडिट फैसिलिटी मिलता है जो इंटरेस्ट फ्री है, इट इज अ वेरी बिग थिंग. आप अपने साथ पार्टनर्स को लेके आ रहे हैं हु ट्रस्ट इन योर विजन, क्योंकि और जो सपोज समबडी इज पुटिंग मनी इनटू योर बिजनेस, इट मींस दे ट्रस्ट यू डीपली. सेकंड, जैसे आपने बताया कि थोड़ा अंडर राइटिंग का कॉस्ट होता है, तो आप लोग बैंकिंग सेक्टर से नेगोशिएट कर सकते हैं, एंड व्हेन यू आर नेगोशिएटिंग विद देम, आप उनसे एक वीक पे डील ले सकते हैं. इसके अंदर आपके जो भी एसएमईज है उसमें जो ब्लड रिलेटिव जितने भी हैं उनका एक साइन लेना जरूरी होता है, बिकॉज नॉर्मली प्रोप्राइटरशिप एक फैमिली बिजनेस है, फैमिली ओन बिजनेस है, लार्जली ये देखा गया है. तो उस केस में सबका साइन इंपॉर्टेंट है, और जब सबका साथ सबका विकास वाला होता है, जो कॉन्सेप्ट है वो चलता ही है. बेनिफिट जो आपको सुमित जी ने बताया कि ट्रेडिशनल जो फंडिंग इकोसिस्टम में कि या तो आप अपना खुद का पैसा लगाते हैं या बैंक से आप लोन लेके लगाते हैं, in both of the ways you are either you are losing interest on your savings or either you are taking money on loan. So there is a cost of capital जो इन्वॉल्व होता है, बट इस पर्टिकुलर इकोसिस्टम के अंदर कोई कॉस्ट नहीं इन्वॉल्व नहीं है, ओनली बस आपको प्रॉफिट कमाना है, वो प्रॉफिट शेयर करना है. ये रिस्क फ्री मनी है. इस जो फंड को पर्टिकुलर सर्टेन कैविएट में आप अपना लोन रीफाइनेंसिंग के में थोड़ा बहुत यूज कर सकते हैं, वर्किंग कैपिटल में यूज कर सकते हैं, एंड वी ऑल नो कि वर्किंग कैपिटल लोन मिलना कितना मुश्किल होता है, but you can use the financial products for using this as well. आप आपका जो and then this is suppose if I go कि I need fund and if I go to investor उनसे बोलता नहीं I am a SME listed organization, just imagine एक conversation कितना difference हो. आपको अपने को validate करने की requirement नहीं है, you come with pre-validation, इसमें होता है. एंड एक सुमित जी की स्लाइड में आपने देखा होगा when he was presenting कि किस स्टेट्स के अंदर कितना कितना हुआ है. सो आई ऑब्जर्व अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, जो सबसे ज्यादा जो डेवलप्ड स्टेट्स है, एटलीस्ट इंडस्ट्रियली जैसे गुजरात और महाराष्ट्र, वहाँ पे सबसे ज्यादा आईपीओज हैं. जो स्टेट्स ट्रेडिशनली हैं जैसे यूपी है, बिहार है, बड़ी स्टेट्स है या नॉर्थ ईस्ट स्टेट्स है, उसमें जहाँ डेवलपमेंट कम है वहाँ पे आईपीओ भी कम है. So people who are hardcore businessmen, they understand this particular instrument और इसके importance है. जैसे I noted down कि महाराष्ट्र के अंदर 191 SMEs are there who have taken who have listed in this, and in Gujarat 174 are listed. So this is a very important thing. जो एंड देन जो हमारे से इकोसिस्टम में आगे हैं, जो एमएसएमई को पता है कि फंड कहाँ से, बिकॉज गुजरात महाराष्ट्र के अंदर फंड रेजिंग तब भी इट इज नॉट डिफिकल्ट, बट हरियाणा है या दूसरी स्टेट है जो जहाँ जो बहुत ज्यादा इंडस्ट्रियलाइज नहीं है, वहां पे आप फंड रेज कहते हैं तो उसमें आपको चैलेंजेस आता है. बट पीपल हु आर इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट दे नो हाउ टू रन इंडस्ट्रीज, एंड जो आपके बिना आपकी तरह ही आपकी सेक्टर के लोग हैं जो गुजरात महाराष्ट्र में, दे आर यूजिंग दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग. सुमित जी ने जैसे बताया कि आपको आइडेंटिफाई करने के लिए कुछ पॉइंट्स बताए कि किस तरह से आप आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं कि आर यू रेडी टू लॉन्च योर आईपीओ. कौन कौन से ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जो इमीडिएटली कर सकते हैं, कुछ ऐसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हो गए जिनके पास हो सकता है आज ऐसी चीज नहीं हो, जिनको 3 साल नहीं हुआ और नहीं हुआ, तो बट यू कैन प्लान कि ये मेरे पास ये एक परपेचुअल हमेशा के लिए अच्छा फंडिंग मैकेनिज्म है, और उसके लिए मैं अभी नहीं तो 6 महीने बाद, नहीं तो 1 साल बाद किस तरह से प्लान कर सकता हूँ। एंड नॉर्मली प्रोसेस में 3-4 महीने जैसे लगते हैं इस पर्टिकुलर डॉक्यूमेंट को अंडर राइटिंग से लेकर लिस्टिंग तक में। तो दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग। नेटवर्क का बताया, सुमित जी ने बताया टोटल कितना पुराना होना चाहिए ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। तो फर्स्ट ऑफ तो थैंक यू सुमित जी फॉर दिस वेरी लाइक एक सेक्टर एग्नोस्टिक है, कोई टेक्सटाइल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कर रहा है या कोई ओईएम मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कर रहा है, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर एवरीवन to avail this interest free loan and in a very highly professional way formalization. So we will park the question at the for the last part. So participant थोड़ा सा आप like just wait for 15 more minutes and we will be taking questions at the end of the session. So with this, I will like to invite our next panelist. भाविन जी, आप भाविन जी आप सुन पा रहे हैं? Team, let me just connect with Bhavin ji. Just give space. It's audible?
Yes, Bhaviji, you're on.
Yes, sir. Yes, Bhavin ji, you're audible. So I welcome Bhavin ji for this session. And Bhavin ji, you can please switch on your camera if possible.
Sure.
So I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Bhavin Shah, and he is the Deputy Head for HAME Securities. He will be advising us on the secrets of his trade and कैसे हमने इस particular SME IPO को listing करना है, आप लोगों के लिए क्या benefit है, क्या hidden है, क्या standard operating procedure होना चाहिए regarding this securities market. Over to you, Bhavin ji.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you, first of all, BSC and SIDBI for inviting us as a motion banker on this platform. So it was, first of all, it was a great presentation by Sumit ji, by you guys. So talking about HAME Securities Limited, if you can just put across the presentation that we had shared.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, with respect to the SME IPO part, Sumit has mentioned in terms of giving the brief synopsis with respect to what it is all about. So without dwelling much on that part, I'll be rather dealing with what kind of things we have been doing on the SME IPO front, being a merchant banker. So as you are seeing on the slide, we are basically SEBI-registered Cat 1 merchant banker based out in Bombay. Predominantly headquartered, earlier we started this whole journey somewhere back in 1981 with the promoter of the company being Hemchand Jain, who started this company predominantly in the broking space. So from the broking space, you can say up to 2003, we're operating only as a broking entity. And post that, obviously, currently, if I'm talking about, we are full-fledgedly doing 3-5 major activities ratherly, which you can see is investment banking activity, portfolio management services, broking, obviously, which we predominantly started in 1981. And obviously, as of now as well, it's our core business that we are doing into. Apart from that, talking about HAME Angel Network, where we facilitate, where we co-investment, where we also do co-investment with many of the investors. And also on the investment side, we have our own HAME Angel Network, HAME Angel Fund as well, where we facilitate funding and we also invest as a merchant banker into promising startup companies. And on the private equity side, obviously, we are doing deals where our sweet spot is somewhere in the range of 50 lakhs to 50 crores. On the SME IPO part, you can say as a merchant banker, we are focusing on deals where our sweet spot is somewhere between 50 crores to 250 crores. So as a merchant banker, you can say we are amongst the top merchant banking company with respect to any of the parameters, like you can say, in terms of the large number of IPOs, in terms of the kind of investor base that we have, the subscription levels, the kind of issue size, the quantum of the issue size, you can say. So we are number one amongst many of the parameters, like across sectors, we have done transactions. The next slide. So obviously, this is the overview of the eligibility criteria. This is more of the repetition with already which Sumitji has spoken about. So I'll not dwell much on that part. Next. Next. This is one criteria for the main board, which was not covered in the earlier presentation that we shared. So any of the companies who want to go for main board, this is the basic criteria that the minimum paid up equity capital should be at least 10 crores. About that, obviously, you usually qualify for going for the main board criteria, or rather, you can say if the paid up capital of the company is over and about 25 CR, then obviously you will go for the main board. Apart from that, the market cap of the company should be at least 25 CR. At least 3 crore net tangible assets should be there. Apart from that, the average operating profit should be at least 15 crore in 3 preceding financial year immediately following the IPO year. So like if I'm talking about a company which wants to get listed in the next financial year, so in FY 24, 25 and 26, they should have an operating profit, that is EBITDA, of at least 15 crore each of the financial year. Apart from that, it should have a minimum experience of three years in the same line of business. The rest of, obviously, the things have been covered in the earlier presentation only. Next. Now, these are the key differences with respect to main board versus SME. With respect to the target companies, which companies usually go for main board? Companies which have already have a well-established track record, companies which are a little sizable in terms of, say, top line as well as bottom line, companies where revenue sizes at least somewhere close to 500 crore plus kind of companies, or 800,000 crore kind of a top line, and bottom line of at least 50 to 60 crore is more kind of an entry level kind of a main board company. An SME company, if I'm talking about in terms of the target company that we particularly choose from, is basically at least having in terms of top line of at least 80 to 100 crore kind of a top line. And obviously, in terms of bottom line, where we feel should be at least 15 to 20 crore kind of a thing in terms of the profitability. That's what we feel. But obviously, in terms of issue size, you can say like the kind of companies we usually onboard at our merchant banking side is we usually target at least not more than 250 to 300 crore. So below 200 to 300 crore, we are onboarding as of now for the SME on the SME space. Particularly talking about the second point is the post-issue paid up capital, where 10 crores or more of the paid up capital, if it goes past over and above this 10 crore, then obviously it has to go to the main board. Less than 25 CR, it qualifies for, you can go any company targeting for going for the SME platform, then obviously the 25 CR, the post-issue paid up capital should be less than 25 CR. Thirdly, the IPO size, as I've talked about, it can range from, ideally it should be somewhere more than 500 crore, which is obviously an entry level kind of a thing for anyone looking for a main board. Else, you can go also for the SME platform as well, depending on what kind of numbers you are having. So we talking about Heme Securities, we have done IPOs of as large as somewhere around 200 crore kind of a thing as well. For one, we did for Danish Power, I believe, for which we had raised close to 197 crore, We had done for Imtron Electronics as well, for which we had done somewhere around close to 186 crore kind of an IPO. So this we had done last year, I believe. Apart from that, in terms of shareholder requirement, obviously in main board, you require a minimum of 1,000 number of shareholders. And in SME board, obviously, you require 50 kind of the minimum prescription for the number of investors that you should have on board. Apart from that, in terms of compliance, I believe compliance already have been covered in the earlier part. Market maker as one of the parameters, you don't require a market maker in terms the companies coming on the main board platform. In terms of SME, you can say in terms of SME board, or you can say the companies who wants to list themselves on the SME platform, there is a mandatory requirement for companies who wants to list on the SME platform that there is a compulsory market making, because the liquidity on this platform on the SME side is a little bit low. So in order to facilitate liquidity, the market maker has been made compulsory by SEBI for 3 years. Apart from that, in terms of migration to the main board, SME companies are allowed to migrate to the main board, provided that the post-issue paid-up capital should be at least 10 crores. Apart from that, in terms of compliance, obviously in terms of companies who are already on the SME part, that is a lower burden in terms of compliance vis-a-vis the main board companies, which obviously the main board, the compliance on the main board are much higher compared to the SME boards. Next. This is, yeah, next. Next. Now, this is the normal process of IPO, you can say, in terms of what are the process that one needs to follow in terms of, onboarding the client and facilitating a smooth journey in terms of listing them on the SME platform or vis-a-vis the main board as well. So the only difference in terms of, timeline per se is like for main board companies, obviously it takes somewhere around close to 9 to 12 months. And for the SME, in terms of listing the company on the SME platform, the timeline is somewhere close to 5 to 6 months. So the whole process starts with the appointment of the merchant banker. Apart from that, once you appoint the merchant banker then in contact with various intermediaries, like a registrar is there, you have legal advisors are there, bankers are there. So you start performing basic things, activities like restructuring of the capital, what are the business plans, you start reviewing those things, followed by the appointments of other intermediaries. And then the normal conversion of the public limited company starts with the appointment of other independent directors. Followed by that, the due diligence process is done on the company, where we have financial due diligence to be done by the chartered accountants in the respective merchant bank division. We have a secretarial due diligence and the legal due diligence, which will be done by the legal team or the legal advisors to the issue. Once this due diligence part is done on the part of the merchant banker in sync with the company, you go with filing of the DRHP and taking the approval from the respective stock exchange. Then all the pre-issue compliance, once it gets done, the prospectus, the draft DRHP is filed with the respective stock exchange. Now, one of the differences over here in the SME platform is that all the approvals and all the filings that has been done up till the DRHP stage is done only with the stock exchange itself. Vis-a-vis compared to the main board, where you also need to file with the SEBI as well. Now, once the DRHP is filed, you go forward with respect to obtaining what in terms of regulatory filings and obtaining the approvals from the stock exchange. Once you get the approvals from the stock exchange, a go ahead. In case if there is any observation, they tell us to review the same. And once all the DRHP is ready to go with, we file the final prospectus with the respective stock exchange. Thereafter, once we obtain the ROC approval, the issue opens on a respective on a respective date, and for 3 days it gets open. Post that, the shares of the company gets listed on a T+2 basis, and the normal trading gets started in the company. So this entire process takes somewhere close to 5 to 6 months kind of a thing as far as the SME IPO is concerned. For the main board, it takes around 9 to 12 months. So that's the major difference in terms of timeline. The process more or less remains the same. Benefits, obviously, I believe has been covered largely in the early presentation. So this is some of the, just to outlay a little bit in terms of brand building, in terms of visibility, in terms of building credibility. This is one of the platforms, the key platforms that the companies usually can get access to. Earlier, obviously, there was no medium where you can have this kind of a brand building exercise. Now, obviously, apart from the growth capital, you can list yourself, and you can, if you have brands in your company, you can obviously create a visibility for the same. Apart from that, you can once you get listed on the platform, the professional setup, the kind of corporate governance that the company enjoys, it goes one notch up. Apart from that, and the compliance part as well in terms of value unlocking the business, which is obviously not, you can say neither the bankers would help you to unlock the value, neither obviously in the private space also. If being a private limited company, remaining in the private space doesn't allow to unlock the value. The value unlocking mechanism is only possible if you showcase your growth by remaining in the public space. By listing your company, you can unlock the value of the shares, which is obviously not possible in the private space, or maybe apart from that, in terms of liquidity, in terms of exit opportunity, one can obviously utilize this platform where if you already have some private names who wants to you want to provide an exit, you can provide them an exit by roping in other investors who wants to onboard into the name of the company. Apart from that, some of the obviously benefits, or some of the benefits of listing has already been mentioned over here, which I believe has largely been covered in the earlier presentation only. So next. So this is some of the credentials, like each and every year we've been awarded the Category 1 Merchant Banking award from Scotch and other financial institutions in terms of contribution to the SME platform. And currently we have done close to somewhere around 140, 146 kind of an SME IPOs, both combined on the NSE Emerge and BSE SME platform. And we have done close to somewhere around 2 mainboard IPOs as well, which obviously, just to name those companies, we have done for 650 crore kind of an issue for Enviro Infra Engineers Private Limited, which is a Delhi-based company. We had done one for Manba Finance for 150 crore kind of a company. So this is some of the credentials in terms of awards that we've received and the accolades that we've received from financial institutions. And this is the kind of transactions we have largely ordered in terms of some of the largest Enviro Infra Engineers, as it is mentioned, that was a kind of a mainboard IPO that we have done for 650 crores kind of a thing. Danish Power, again, we had done for 197 crore, which is into the power space. Manba Finance, it's a mainboard IPO that we had done for close to 150 crores. Vision Infra Equipment Solution, we had done for somewhere around close to 106 crore, which is again an infra rental company, infra equipment manufacturing company based out in Pune. We had done for Ganesh Green Bharat somewhere close to 80 to 100 crore kind of an IPO. For Aimtron Electronics, we did one for 186 crore kind of a thing. Sastra Electronics, which is a Noida-based company into PCB assembly and manufacturing space. For that, we have done 186 crore kind of a thing. Namo E-Waste, based out in Delhi, we have done this thing. And SME IPO again, and Vilas Transport as well we have done. So this is not a completely exhaustive list, but just to give you a brief, background with respect to the kind of largest kind of an IPO that we have done in the SME IPO platform. This slide usually talks about the private transaction that we have done. Some of the largest ones again, Stelmac Limited, where we have done a private equity deal, which was somewhere close to 175 crore, which was we had roped in the famous fund house led by Mr. Sunil Singhania from Apicus Asset Management, which successfully infused close to 175 crore. We had another company that we had done, which is known as E2E Rail Infrastructure, for which Again, it's also been listed by us just around 2 months back, or rather 1 month back, for close to somewhere around 80 to 90 crore kind of a fundraising that we had done from them. So this is the kind of private transaction, again, one of some of the largest transactions that we did. Apart from that, taking a cue from our management, Haim Securities has been led by Mr. Hemchand Jain, who is the founder promoter of the company. And under his guidance, we have 2 other directors who are running the show at Haim Securities, Mr. Pratik Jain, who looks after the execution side, and Mr. Gaurav Jain, who typically handholds us on the business development part and the investor relations side. So this is the kind of presence that we have across India in terms of the sub-broking network we have, which is span across somewhere around 250 to 300 sub-broker network, which is spread across India. And apart from that, any other questions you might be having, you can obviously raise, or we have already mentioned our credentials as well on each of the sites. So obviously, you can share those credentials with respect to those people who are interested in terms of getting in touch with us. You can get in touch with us, and we're happy to share any of the queries that you guys must be having in terms of onboarding your company to getting listed on the SME platform or maybe the main board platform, and we are happy to share those, take those cases on a case by case basis, on individual basis.
Thank you, Bhavinji, for this wonderful introduction to this to merchant banking system. I think a lot of us will not be knowing about these things. I would like to just sum up, and you actually clearly explain what is the difference between a main board and an SME board. This is for the larger audience. When we are and this is for partners from industry association. There's a big boys game, and big boys league normally is on a main board. There we have to target, but the path jata hai, that goes to the SME board. If you are trying to find, if you're trying to look up for funding and things like that, there's a pathway and transition. Once you become an SME board, and then you will definitely become a main board. And as Bhavinji said, that it could be the funding opportunity. You can envision from say about 20-30 crores, and it could go up to 200, 250, 300 crores even. It depends upon what is your product line, and how strong your books are. And for that, merchant banking is an important part. We are not saying that you actually require a merchant bank, but it is highly advisable that you have a merchant banker with you. Who can guide the process. And actually, Bhavinji, I was trying to count the number of steps. So there are 15 steps from day 1 to the next 2-3 years. जो भी SMEs को follow करना है, right from process of IPO, from after the appointment of merchant banker, due diligence, approval, listing, compliances, and सिर्फ ऐसा नहीं है कि IPO हो गया, आपका खत्म हो गया, funds generate हो गए, and then there's even after the completion of the IPO, there's a handholding process which any banker and right now here Haim Securities is going to offer to you. So you can understand कि what you are getting into, उसका एक pathway क्या होगा. Next, आप suppose आपका एक SME IPO है या आपका capitalization का एक pathway है, उसका कोई next 6 महीने, 1 साल, 2 साल, 3 साल. So you need to come enter into an ecosystem with the understanding. Normally, when the business grows, starting में तो पहले बही खाते पे काम चलता था. Then came Tele, now came the ERP. So there's a mutual progression and progression into the entire ecosystem. And for that, merchant banker would help you solve a lot of questions. And as Bhavinji shared that they are what should be the paid up capital, what should be the net tangible assets, how long the organization should be in existence for, what should be the top line, what is the bottom line, and what is the right kind of financial strength an organization should be having, which can make your job easier to raise fund. ऐसा नहीं है कि somebody is having जैसे सुमित जी ने पहले बताया कि there is a minimum eligibility criteria. Anything above a minimum eligibility criteria can raise funds from this from SME IPO as well. But somebody who is actually right now कि जिसका turnover 20-30-40 crores है, and then and they are rightly positioned right now, they can immediately plan in this financial year or in the coming financial year. And somebody who is not there, they may plan it after 6 months, 1 year. So this could be a very valuable instrument for all the different beautiful things that Sumitji and Bhavanji has shared about. What are the benefits of anybody entering into this kind of financial transaction? Because this is a long-term big boys game, and everybody, and we all know, we all want to be big boys and seated on the higher table. So that is from our side. And there's one key interesting thing that I was seeing, because actually I worked with electronics manufacturers, and Bhavinji, jaisa aapne bataya that you have raised a lot of capital for organizations which are working into green energy and electronics manufacturing, PLC wala. But also I was able to see that you've also done an IPO for Namo e-waste management company. And now e-waste, technically we say कि कोई waste organization company है, उसको क्या जरूरत है SME IPO की? So people who are enterprising, who are looking forward for a longer future, because we know कि इतना सारा electronics e-waste, everybody is operating out of e-waste as of now, and we are creating a lot of e-waste. So any person who is dealing with e-waste, they can actually go for one. So this is not a very not largely from a high value chain. It could also be from a circular economy perspective as well. It could be from textile, it could be from infra, it could be from plastic manufacturing, it could be from a lot of other places. Thank you, Bhavinji, for this wonderful session.
Thank you. Yeah,
And now,
thank you for inviting me.
And now I will request Reshma, if you can just collate on the questions. We are opening the session for question and answer. First, we are going to take the questions which are marked on the chat. And if then you please raise your hand so that we can allow the person to ask a question directly to a panelist. Over to you, Reshma.
So Ankitji already raised his hand. Ankitji, you can switch on your mic and share your question with us. Yeah.
So one small question to Mr. Bhavin. He has just said that for SME IPO, the ideal IPO size is between 30 crore to rupees 200 crore. And at the same time, he has said that post-issue paid up capital should be up to rupees 25 crore. So there's little confusion about this, that if the IPO sizes we are keeping between 30 to 200 crore, and what do you mean by this post-issue paid up capital up to 25 crore?
So, hello, audible?
Yes, sir.
So post-issue paid-up capital, when we say, is basically the paid-up capital that you see on the balance sheet. Like it is taken as at face value. Suppose if the number of shares is somewhere around, say 10,000 shares, for example. Okay, if the paid-up capital is somewhere around 1 lakh rupee on the balance sheet, right?
Right, sir.
So suppose if the face value of each of the share is suppose say 10 rupees per share. Okay, just to give you in layman terms, just to make you understand. Okay, so that 10,000 shares multiplied by 10 is somewhere around 1 lakh. So that paid up capital post issue should be less than 25 CR.
You want to say that after IPO, after
Correct.
floating the SME IPO, the
Correct.
paid up share capital of our company should be less than rupees 25 crore.
Bhaviji, your voice is breaking. We are not able.
Is it audible now?
Yes,
Yes,
you
sir,
are
audible.
audible.
Maybe I'll just give me a minute.
Bhavinji, are you able to hear?
Hello, is it audible now?
Yeah, you are
Yes,
audible.
sir. Audible.
Yeah. So what I was mentioning is the post-issue paid-up capital taken at a face value should be less than 25 CR. So if the post-issue paid-up capital moves over and above 25 CR, then obviously it moves to the main pool. That is the only difference.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Indipal Singh Chawla ji. You have raised your hand. If you can please ask your question.
Excuse me, sir. in Mizoram, we never heard about the Bombay Stock Exchange and all that.
Hi, sir.
So
Am I audible?
kindly clarify at the
Yes, yes. Keshavji, in terms of pharma companies, we have listed, as of now, we have listed only one, but that too not from the manufacturing side, sir, only from the trading side. So we haven't taken much on the pharma side, sir, as of now. Okay. Second question is like, we'll do a pre-assessment and what will be the cost of this?
So your voice is not
Should I
audible,
repeat
sir.
my question?
Please, sir, please.
Sir, a pre-assessment for our IPO issues. So, do you do pre-assessment?
So your voice, it's breaking in between, Keshavji.
Indrapalji,
I think I can say, I think he's asking probably that can you do a pre-assessment if they are willing to go for an IPO? Does your organization do a pre-assessment for them as well?
Yeah, obviously. So before onboarding any of the companies, in terms of what is the suitability, and obviously as a merchant banker, we also have our own set of preferences with respect to what kind of value creating activity, what kind of fundraising activity, what kind of valuation we can give based on the numbers that they share with us. So we have a preset of a checklist with us, which we share on a case-to-case basis with our clients as well, or any of the leads who want to go for an IPO. So that we have, on our side as a merchant banker. So I'll give you a broad example with respect. I'll give you a broad example with respect to suppose if I have a company, I want to go for an IPO. So what kind of things we usually ask for? We usually ask for last 3 years of the financials of the company, a corporate profile of the company. Apart from that, in terms of evaluating the company more, what is the kind of projections that they are having for the next 2 to 3 years? So this is more or less the basic criteria at first sight of the preliminary checklist we ask from the respective company. And then obviously on a case-to-case basis, we evaluate further.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we will pass on Bhavinji's details with you, and we'll be so that you can directly get in touch with Bhavinji and his organization, and then let us see where it goes. There's one particular question from Mr. Vish. What support SIDBI is providing for IPO listing process? And I think Sumitji, can you answer this particular question? Or maybe Harsha ji has.
So what's the question?
The question is there any support from SIDBI's side provided for IPO listing?
SIDBI side? I think
SIDBI.
SIDBI would be
for
better.
SIDBI support, we will connect you with SIDBI, and they will be able to answer. They will be the right person to answer you the question. So if you have any question related to BSC Limited or with Bhavinji, you can ask questions. And for SIDBI related question, we can share you the number for SIDBI concerned person.
yes. May I raise one question?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
We never heard about the Bombay Stock Exchange and Stock Exchange functioning. Therefore, I request Bombay Stock Exchange to have something symposium at Aizawl so that we can enjoy the stock exchange norms and all that for future business. Thank you.
Thank you, the gentleman from Mizoram Chamber of Commerce. We have noted this. So Sumitji, there's a request from Mizoram Chamber of Commerce that if you can have a symposium or seminar in Mizoram as well, then it will help. It will help them to understand the BSE and the SME. And if you
Definitely, sir. We have an offices as well, BSc in those places, and also we have been this region we catered from the east side, our Calcutta region. So I'll pass on this to my team there, and we'll help you to get this done as soon as possible.
Okay,
Thank
thanks
you.
so much. So Bhaviji, there is one question that has come up in chat, which is to do what is the PAT should a company have in last 3 years of an IPO of 30 crores? And what is the PAT should a company have in last 3 years of an IPO of 30 crores? So I think the organization is a 30 crore worth, and what should be the PAT? So Bhaviji, you are on mute actually.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So, sir, in terms of profitability or in terms of revenue, there is no such bar with respect to what kind of company might go for an SME IPO or it should be. Ideally, at our merchant banking company, what we prefer the most is at least 80 to 100 crore kind of a top line that the company should have with the decent margins of somewhere around 8 to 10%. But having said that, obviously a company with 40 to 50 crore kind of a revenue and with an operating margins or net profit margins of somewhere close to 8 to 10% can also go for an IPO. So a company with 5 crore profitability and a company with 30 crore profitability can also go for an SME IPO. Now that also depends on the company to company per se, whether they want to go for a main board IPO, whether they want to go for an SME IPO. But ideally, even for a 3 crore company, company profitability is there, or 5 crore profitability is there, or 10 crore profitability is there. There is no such bar that a company cannot go for an SME IPO.
Okay, thanks, Bhaviji. I think Keshav ji has also raised his hand. Keshav ji, if you can ask your question. केशव जी की आवाज थोड़ी कम आ रही है, can you please थोड़ा सा माइक के पास? Yeah, जी.
Bhavin ji, I wish to ask you that if I were to raise certain sum of money, then what would it cost me as a percentage of the fund to be raised, the underwriting commission and merchant banker charges?
So, Bhaviji, were you able to get the question? So, Bhaviji, the question, Keshav ji has asked a question that what is like for the underwriting and the entire process and everything. So, if he is able, suppose if I'm just putting a number to this. So, if they have to raise 100 rupees, what would be this entire cost of raising this finance would be? You can advise.
If not a specific percentage, you can provide a range of percentage.
Yeah. So, in terms of the overall costing or the overall fee structure, if you say for onboarding the SME company is concerned, it usually in industry at an industry level, it's somewhere between 8 to 16%. As far as Hem Secured is concerned, we usually the costing usually comes around 10 to 11% of the entire SME issue or the IPO size, you can say, which also covers various aspects like underwriting, marketing, selling commission, everything. It's involved into 10 to 11%. So roughly you can say 10 to 11% is what, as a merchant banker, we usually charge for an SME IPO for onboarding clients, SME clients for the SME IPO.
Thanks, Bhaviji. So we will take, as we are about to reach the end of this webinar, we will be taking just one more question if someone has, and then I'll give the vote of thanks. Yeah. Anybody has any more questions as of now? You please share your email IDs in the chat as well. So we will be sharing the presentation, today's presentation with, after getting to approval from Sumitji and Bhavinji. And we will be passing on the contact details of Bhavinji with the official email ID and mobile. and Sumit, so that you can, if you have any queries, you can directly get in touch with them as well. And if you want, you can directly get in touch with the SEDB regional offices. And all the states have regional offices and multiple regional offices and branch offices in your respective state. You can just please look that up on the website of SEDB, and you can get in touch with the concerned officials there. You can raise an you can also get in touch with them or through an email as well, or you can visit the branch office as well for further information. I think Mr. Ankit Agarwal, you have raised your hand. If you have any questions.
Sir, any SME IPO for food industry have you done?
For which sector?
Food industry.
Food. So exactly in the food industry, what you're doing, sir? If you can just
Frozen.
elaborate a little bit on that
Frozen.
part.
So frozen material, no? That peas and this frozen paratha, frozen all that food stuff.
Okay, so if you can just within the food, although you can say largely categorized in the food sector, we may have done one or two. I'm not remembering exactly the name, but you can share your profile or your requirement that you're having. You can just have it my credentials from Arpitji or from the base team itself, sir. So I can give you a better sense of the kind of transactions we have done, particularly from your domain only.
Okay, sir. Oh, thank you.
And I think Mr. Omega Tube Dynamics, you have raised your hand. This is the last question we are going to take. Gia.
Hello, sir. Thank you for organizing this wonderful event. This is Navneet Krishna from Omega Tube Dynamics. We are part of Cosima, Coimbatore. Sir, my question is, what is your suggestions to promote this type of SME that listing in Tamil Nadu? Because we know that North India, they are well aware about on this. But in Tamil Nadu side, they are not, even though they are doing good running company, but they are not aware that much in the IPO side. What's your suggestions for MSME industries?
Talking about, as you rightly mentioned, like if as a merchant banker, I can give my perspective with respect to the kind of IPOs or the kind of what kind of companies we have done across India, like from the north and east, predominantly, like say from 2012 and up till 2017, you can say. There have come many IPOs particularly from the north region, from the eastern side. And it is only now that we are seeing a large traction of the IPOs coming also from the southern side, from the south side as well. Earlier, that was very much restricted towards the companies coming from the south side. But even now, from the likes of Hyderabad, Chennai, Madurai, so those kind of Tamil Nadu, and there the companies are, you can say, very much eligible and very much good in terms of growth. But when it comes to the dilution part, so they take their heads up. So obviously it's a part and parcel of the game. And now we are seeing, in fact, we as a merchant banker, we have also signed many of the deals with them. I cannot of course take the names because we haven't filed the DRFP as of now, but more or less, the promoters also are having now that kind of second, third generation are coming into place, especially from south side as well. So it's more about awareness among the promoters that if they want to take their company to the next level, obviously the bank limit and those kinds of things are there still in place. But obviously to take their business from say 200, 300 crore kind of company to how they can build 1,000 crore kind of a company, which is obviously is possible only through hand-holding, through proper guidance.
Yes.
So I would rather say that if you can nurture your company or you can have that kind of a growth mindset, then obviously marketplace is a great place to unlock the value.
Yeah. Definitely, because your company also not located in Tamil Nadu, because I see in the overall portfolio that you are not located in Tamil Nadu as well.
No, but obviously, as I said, sir, Bangalore is a great place which is coming up. Hyderabad is a great place which is coming up slowly and steadily. Earlier, there were very much lesser companies coming from the side of maybe say Hyderabad, Calicut, Bangalore itself. But now things are changing, and we are seeing these things happening on ground.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bhaviji. I think we are closing here the session for questions, and and we are coming to the end of the session. So I would like to give my gratitude, express my gratitude and thanks to first SIDBI team, Ashok sir, and the other team members who are present, who have helped us organize this particular event. This is their initiative where they are trying very hard to institutionalize growth and sustainable growth with the different industry associations. I would like to thank Sumit ji for insights on the BSE SME platform and market readiness, where extreme were very practical and reassuring for entrepreneurs and investors alike. And I would like to thank Bhavin ji for taking a lot of questions. And actually, I can see that we have actually managed the flow where policymakers are there, where the institutions who are like a BSE is there, and then we have been finally able to communicate to spark a lot of interest when we took our journey from Ashok sir to Sumit ji to Bhavin ji, and Bhavin ji answered a lot of questions for the people, because we are definitely very inspired to see that there are a lot of questions from different sectors from different geographies, and we are very happy to see the ambition that the Indian entrepreneurs and India's SMEs have to make it big. And on behalf of KPMG IIP, we would like to thank all our participants from different industry associations who have taken their time on this working day and who have been part of this journey with us for the last 1.5 hours. And thank you so much. And with that, I would like to thank my panelists. Thanks.
Thank you, Sumit ji. Thank you, Bhavin ji. Thank you, everyone,
Thank you.
for joining.
Thank you, everyone.